Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Talk Cocky with me. So I'm all alone this week. Work, timing, life, my voice, all of that has played a part this week. I'm sure you can actually hear. I still hardly have a voice, and it is Friday. But we are going to fight through it and get some content out there, get some talking, little cocky today. You know, Texas A&M, not a whole lot that we can say that hasn't already been said about the game. Probably one of the most historic wins for South Carolina. And that word keeps getting thrown around. It was getting thrown around Saturday and last week. Historic win and historic game and all this. And, you kind of look at it and you're like, okay, was A&M some kind of magical creature that we just finally slayed? No. Well, were they Nicolas Cage's Eleanor that he finally got to the dock, stolen without breaking the mirrors off and clinking it into the port? No. Wasn't even as long as a streak that Alabama had against Tennessee. I mean, it really wasn't a huge streak, not a 100-year rivalry, nothing like that. 8 games. Again, 8 games sucks, but it's 8 games. Why was it historical? Well, the reason it was historical was it was that final, you haven't done this in the SEC monkey that we finally gotten off of our back. As great as the run that we went through with Coach Spurrier, A&M kind of came in on the back end of that, so he didn't really have his opportunity at them. But so they came in at the time that we started going down. So with all of the great things that we were able to do with him, we didn't have that opportunity to do this. So knocking down barriers, first this, first that. Won the SEC East, went to the SEC Championship game, 11 wins, multiple seasons, all this. We're flying high. Oh, here comes a new SEC challenge. Oh, well, South Carolina still can't get over that hurdle. So Saturday was finally, outside of winning the SEC, is the final rung in the ladder, monkey off the back of teams we haven't beat, things we haven't done. I guess maybe win at Death Valley, the real Death Valley, not the one that we copied. But, there's still a few things out there. But as far as teams beat, to say that, yeah, we've done it, A&M was that final monkey. I don't know why I keep saying monkey off my back. Apparently that's just the thing that's in my brain right now. But, yes, it was just one of those, we got over another hurdle that felt like we would never get there. Years that A&M were terrible, we felt like we were better, which A&M's never really terrible. They still beat us. We had the one year, I think it was one of Spurrier's final seasons, they took that opening kickoff all the way to the house. The very first game ever on SEC Network, where they absolutely throttled us when we were supposed to come out and be so good. That was really kind of the first showing that Spurrier era was on the decline. But, yeah, I mean, just can't say anything else that hasn't been said. I mean, what a huge game. What an insane environment to be a part of. I've been at some very, very big games at Williams-Brice Stadium. It's been very loud. I've screamed my head off. Saturday had to take the cake. If you were there, it was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. If we don't get a couple of recruits off of that, you're dead. You don't have blood flowing through your veins because that was electric. And if you didn't want to be a part of that, there's something wrong. So the game itself, I mean, that's probably the hottest start of any game that I can remember since, Kentucky 2 weeks ago. All we heard before Kentucky was, we need to start faster, we're a great second half team, but we've got to start faster. We keep putting ourselves in a bind. We get behind in games. Let's get out ahead and do all this. Before, I believe, SEC State, we scored 1 touchdown in the first quarter. So before Kentucky, we had one touchdown to my knowledge in the first quarter the entire season so far. In the last two games, we've gone back-to-back openers. We've scored a touchdown within the first 10 seconds. And it might have even been a little longer if it took Leggett longer to run there. But so before that, we were just, all of us begging, hey, let's get some points. We need to get out ahead. So we've now scored at least a touchdown in the first 10 seconds of the last two games. So I will definitely take that start in every single game that we play from now until the end of time. But we've got to start tying that together. We've previously we were great in the second half. Always would come out a little slow, but we'd make some adjustments halftime, come out, and then that's when we really kind of started picking up. Fourth quarters, we would really put it on people. But we've got to put it together. We're finally jumping out early, but now we're just hanging on. Kentucky, A&M, both of them, we jumped out really early, but then it kind of turned into okay, don't lose this game. And A&M, couple of decisions were made late in the game. I'm not saying I disagree with them. We'll kind of hit on that here in a moment. But decisions were made that may have made that game a little bit tighter towards the end. And, excuse me, there we go. Then you had that onside kick and everything, but I want to see us do a whole game. Get out early, get some of those points, and then just stomp on somebody's throat. That's the one thing that we keep missing, the one thing that we're lacking. Not only get out in a hurry, come out in the second half, still with a mission and a point to prove. We're here. We're taking that next step. We may not be all the way elite. We may not be all the way at the top, but we're not on that bottom anymore. We're taking this step. We're here to win. We're not scared to win. Let's go out and take it. We took the first kickoff back to the house. Then Rush had his pick, and I know a lot of people, me myself included, I believe I might have tweeted about it. I don't know. You never get a tweet or anything to actually go out when you're in Williams-Brice Stadium. And if anybody ever hears this, can we please invest in some Wi-Fi hotspots in the stadium? Is that really too much to ask? It's 2022. Just a couple hotspots. That's all I'm asking. But anyway, after Rush's pick, we go down, we throw 3 straight passes, kick a field goal. Again, like I said, I was very critical of that. I thought it was a terrible decision. Why not just run it? But I think Spencer actually said it best. Was just that it all happened so quickly. And he made the comment too. He's like, hey, we went out there and it was just so quickly, and I'm not quoting him word for word. Y'all don't go all crazy on me. But he's like, hey, we went out there and it was just so quick. I don't think we had kind of settled down just yet from all the excitement. But that to me kind of goes back to, I think the coaches should have gotten together and said, hey, let's take a quick breath, slow down for a second, get composed. And then I don't know if you still get as upset on the pass. Let's be honest, if any of those passes would have turned into a touchdown, nobody would have gave a crap. They were incomplete. But when he made that comment, if you go back and watch the first and second downs, everything looked rushed. Everything looked absolutely rushed. And honestly, I'm not upset with the third down call to Stogg in the corner of the end zone for a little lob pass. It looked like the timing might have been off a little bit. The throw might have, I don't know. But it looked like the throw might have been a little late. Stogg was already kind of falling out of bounds a little bit. But I'm not upset with that call, and anybody that is fooling themselves, because last year they were screaming, hey, why are we not running E.J. Jenkins down in the end zone and throwing a lob pass? Okay, well, there was your lob pass to the tall tight end. Get over it. That was the play. It just didn't work out. But first and second down, like I said, it just seemed rushed. Hindsight, of course, maybe we should have ran it for a down. That would have just kind of slowed it for a second, I think. Have somebody get hit, have somebody, just kind of get knocked back down to earth. Again, hindsight, I don't completely hate all the play calling. I would have liked to have seen at least one rush on that drive. We still got 3, still got the W. That's how I see things. As long as we win, winning cures everything. Uh, but it's great now to finally see too a healthy defense, as healthy as we're going to see for the rest of this season. Obviously we got a couple guys out for the year, so it's great to finally see what our defense can do when when they're healthy and they're able to play as close to 100% as possible. I put it on Twitter the other day, and I didn't get a lot of reaction, so I think some people felt a little attacked. But weeks ago we had a lot of comments of, "Oh, the D is the worst part of this team, and I think Clayton White's the worst coordinator we got actually, and he's just been behind and da 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 da." There's not a lot of those comments now that we got some healthy guys back in. We're playing, our starters, not having to put in some younger guys as often. But even then we've got healthier guys, but now that those younger guys had gotten some playing time, they've kind of gotten the speed back down. They've gotten some of those issues and errors out of the way, so now they've learned. So they're able to step their game up a little bit. And you're starting to see a deeper defense, not only healthier, but deeper defense being able to come in and make these plays that we're used to seeing. And that's going to keep y'all from complaining about one more thing on Twitter. The other thing that's really funny, too, just kind of in the change of the last 2 weeks, is I think Tonka Hemingway is really pushing the staff to be put in at tailback. He's had, in back-to-back games, he's had 2 scoops and almost scores. We got to get some better defensive blocking. Maybe some of those, maybe some of our wide receivers get Pete Limbo out there, show him some downfield blocking like we do on punt returns and stuff. We've got to get these linebackers and defensive linemen. They've got really improved downfield blocking for Tonka. He's got to get one of those into the end zone. But between that and then we got the 2-point conversion that he ran in the other week, and that just having him in that situation just goes to prove how athletic he really is and how athletic the coaching staff sees that he really is, that they put him in a situation like that. And then, of course, he's had the 2 plays in back-to-back games where he's going all the way down. and that's the thing is, he's had those big plays. You had the Darius rush. You've got the, we've had multiple punt blocks, kickoff returns. We've had all these great special teams, defensive plays. And early in the year, it was Georgia State. Oh, well, if you didn't have special teams, if they didn't save you. And now the defense is starting to get some of those turnovers where earlier in the year, we weren't getting those plays to bounce our way. But now it's, oh, but the defense and special teams are saving you. The offense is still terrible, but the defense and special teams are safe. I mean, is that not part of the game? And I know that I kind of harped on that a little bit last week, but it's literally a 3-stage game, and you got to have defense, special teams, and offense. It's not our fault that the other team sucks at special teams or that they don't practice special teams. That's not up to us. We decide to do that. And if we're able to capitalize on it and put points on the board, that helps us win games. It also takes away from our offense. Everybody's always going, oh, well, the offense only ran this many plays. The offense only had this many yards. The offense only had this many points. Yeah, they only had so many yards because Darius Rush took an interception 60-something yards down to the, 10, inside the 10. Yeah, they only had so many yards because Tonka Hemingway took a fumble interception thing, whatever that is actually called, down to like the 15. You're limiting the amount of yards that your team can have. And again, we took the opening kickoff. That would have been an offensive drive to the house. Our first 3 offensive potential possessions, the absolute max yards that we could have gotten was 30, 35 yards. But we walked away with 17 points. Should have been 21, but walked away with 17 points. So everybody, oh, well, the defense and the special teams. Who gives a crap? Literally, who gives a crap? Why don't we care where the points come from? Yes, when the offense does have the ball when they're out there, do we want to see more improvement? Do we want to see them move the ball a little bit more? Absolutely. Um, I'm there with you. It does seem like we're starting to get into a flow. Uh, I'm completely with you. I want to see that flow happen a lot quicker. I want to see some more hits. Um, it seems like we're hitting some bigger plays in the passing game. The running game's looking really, really good. Similar to the people dogging the defense, there's not a whole lot of people dogging the offensive line right now. There's going to be sacks. There's going to be people get loose. That's part of the game. There's not a single offensive line in this country that will not give up a negative run play, that will not give up a sack. That's part of the game. You just got to deal with it. But they have really progressed this season and gotten a lot better in protection. And I know a lot of people, too, are saying that Spencer still doesn't trust his line, and that's why he's pulling out and all this. I think that's just his game. I think he's able to play better when he's able to create. If you box him in and say, okay, here, sit in this little bubble, and then make this throw, he's got the talent to make that throw, but I think he actually does better when he's moving. That deep pass to, I think it was Jalen Brooks, he rolls out, goes off his off leg, moving 55 yards, I think it was, in the air and on the money. That's what Spencer Rattler brings to the table. But what I was saying, though, is the running game is finally, or not finally, I mean, Lloyd has been freaking going on for a while, but the running game isn't really the issue. I think it's in certain situations we get a little predictable with just, run straight at the gut. So I would like to see a little bit, kind of off tackle, whatnot in certain situations. But the passing game is clicking. It's getting there. And I say clicking as in, like, when you're starting your car and it's like it's wanting to get there. We're hitting some bigger plays now. We're moving the ball in a little bit more chunks. It's just in different drives. So we'll have a huge play and then kind of stall out. And then the next drive, we'll have a huge play and then kind of stall out. If we need to get those in the same drive, and I think this offense will then really start to take off. It's kind of, I guess, my hill to die on that I keep mentioning. Everybody always has issues with the plays, and Satterfield even made the comment in his press conference this week. Somebody had asked him about it, and he goes, it's the same exact plays that we called in the first half we called in the second half. We just execute a little bit better, or this guy's a little bit more tired, or this guy turns on a block a little bit more, or this guy made the play. So the same exact plays that we jeer for not working, later we cheer when it does work. It's just they've got to go out and execute the plays. That's just kind of how it is. It was kind of on that. It was so funny. I think it was in the third quarter. There was a guy that was sitting beside me, or his wife or somebody was beside me. And if by any random chance y'all are one of the 7 people that listen, again, yes, we've upgraded from 3 to 7 people that listen. If you are one of them, kudos to the wife that was right beside me. We won't say names, but Chuck, if you're listening, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She made a comment about a certain other podcast and her feelings towards that podcast. So if you're listening now after mine and Chuck's shameless plugs for about 5 minutes following that, welcome to Talk Cocky with us. We're glad you're here. If y'all ever want to join, let me know. Just don't have this take that you had during the game for your husband as he was sitting there yelling in one of the drives, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, like every single play. Just kept yelling it. Then we ran the ball, got tackled for a loss. You suck, Sat. And I'm like, he literally just did what you said. That was literally What you've been screaming every play was for him to run the ball. We ran the ball. They made a play. And now Sat sucks because it didn't work. Um, but that's kind of my whole issue with the thing is I get it if you want to be critical. There's absolutely stuff that I'll kind of scratch my head about. Like, what are you thinking? But when things go well, it's okay to celebrate. We don't have to be mad that the coach that we don't like is successful. Again, same thing with Muschamp. I know we keep saying it. People were begging for his failure, which meant our team would lose so they could be right. And it's the same thing with Coach Satterfield is nobody ever wants to look at any of the positive stuff that happens because they want him gone so bad. And I don't understand that. Why do you dislike a man so much that you've never met in your life that you want him fired just because you don't like some of the play calls that haven't worked out for your team? How about saying, hey, I may not like him right now, but I hope he gets better. I hope these plays start working. I hope our team starts winning. I hope he's here for 20 freaking years, and it's because he has a banging offense. Should that not be what we're doing as fans? But we're so quick to want to get pissed off at somebody because everything isn't 100% to our liking. Same thing, guy a couple rows up from us in the bleachers, and I'm not even going to justify and repeat some of the stuff that he said because it was absolutely ignorant. And I'm pretty sure that the stare down that he got sent the message for me because I don't deal with stupidity very well. I've got a pretty long fuse. I can handle a lot of stuff. I'm pretty cool, calm. But ignorance and stupidity, I don't do well with. So he sat there on the play that I believe it was Jockey Moore, missed the block on the left tackle. Guy comes around. Spencer just dropped back. And I think he was getting ready to throw, whatever the situation was. Guy blindsides him. Spencer fumbles. They recover. The things that this grown adult male, let's say that. I'm not even going to give him credit for calling him a man. But the things that this fully grown adult male said to a college athlete that did not see a 250-pound man running full speed behind him and plowed into him, and that college athlete didn't hold on to a football. The things that he said, I beg someone to ever go to his job and say that to him when he adds up a wrong number or puts the wrong thing in a box or, I don't know, scans the wrong item twice at the checkout line. Like, bro, it's a football game. We're all passionate. We want our team to win. But at the end of the day, your life is not going to change. You need to. I'm going to steal a little from the. Actually, I don't even know who made the shirt, but we've seen Coach Beamer wearing the sweatshirts and everything. You need to find some joy in your life, because if that single play where another team just made a great play, if that ruins your happiness in life, you need to find some joy, because that ain't cool. The rest of the game, outside of the booming start, was just kind of, really what I expected. I expected it to kind of be, a battle. Luckily, we had a cushion. I'm not going to say that they let off, but I think they got a little comfortable. It's easy to do when you have a huge league like that. That's what I was saying earlier. I would love to see where we come out and really kind of step on some throats in the second half. However we got to do it. I want to see a full game. I want to see this team put together a full game, start to finish, come out and put a thumping on somebody. We really need that. Then you have the end of the game. I'm okay with going for it on fourth down there. I understand, the idea of it. A touchdown there puts the game away. Hindsight, a field goal would have at least kept the very, very ending be a little less nerve-wracking. But we all have coined our sports teams as the cardiac cocks for a reason. And if we ever win a game convincingly and just go home happy that we won and there wasn't anything to worry about, I'm not sure it would be the South Carolina Gamecocks that we watched. So doesn't matter how good we are, we're always going to have those games where we're like, oh my God, is it going to be over? So I remember the second to the last or the next to the last Hail Mary when he threw it and it knocked it down. Everybody started celebrating. The very first thing I did was look at the clock and I went, crap, there's 1 second. There's 1 second. Hold on. It's not over. There's 1 second. If you've seen any of the games with me, if you've heard me, Rick Miller, you know how I am. There's always a chance until the clock is on 0-0. If we're losing, there's always a chance to win. However, as a South Carolina Gamecock, I also understand if there's any time on the clock, there's still a chance to lose. I'm fine with it either way. If we had kicked the field goal, it would have put it away as well. Again, hindsight, but I can't sit here in one sentence and say, I want us to step on somebody's throat, I want us to put a game away, and then say, oh, well, we should have got the for sure points. I love that Coach Beamer is aggressive. I love that we go for it. I love that we keep teams on their heels and they never know, are we going to do a fake punt, or are we going to go for it up the gut? What are we going to do on fourth down? I love that about him, so I will not question any of those calls unless it's a game that it ends up costing us. we're fans, let's be honest. That's when we're going to do it. One area that we've had 2 games now this season where in the fourth quarter some onside kicks have really hurt us. The Arkansas game was much closer going into the fourth quarter. We kicked 2 straight to their guys, and that really put the game away for A&M against us. And then, of course, Saturday night, they had the onside kick where even Coach Limbo had made the comment that a couple of guys should have been a little bit more aggressive on those plays. But, that's just an instance now where we've had a couple of onside kicks, and they have gone the exact opposite way against us. And let me be clear, for anybody that's already typing on Twitter, hey, dude, you're an idiot, don't question him. I am not questioning the holiness of Coach Pete Limbo or our special teams unit. It is only a small detail that has happened in 2 games that has just not gone 100% in our favor. We are special team spoiled now. We expect everything to go our way when special teams are involved. Okay, just take a deep breath. It's okay. But the onside kicks, like I said, that the Arkansas game was a lot closer than the final score ended up being. The A&M game was a lot closer than it needed to be. Just frustrating. Frustrating that kind of seems to be a little bit of a chink in the armor, but nothing crazy. Like I said, so still coughing and everything. I apologize. So I've had to wait so long to record this. I'm in sales. This is my busy time of the year, so I have literally been talking nonstop for 8 hours. I've only had 2 days off in, I don't know, like 2.5 weeks. One of those off days was Saturday night where I screamed my head off, so I did no favors to my throat that way either. And it's just not 100% here. Hopefully this weekend, I'm not going to the game. We're going over to a friend's house. Shout-outs to the Adams family. And so we're going to watch the game. Hopefully I won't be screaming as much. And hopefully this weekend it'll recover. But moving on to the Gamecock Eats 8 'em Up Award for this week. So leaving the stadium, I was 100% set on Xavier Legette. It was the feel-good story. Everybody was against him. He should sit the bench and all this after the drops against Kentucky that led to some picks. No, that was not Kentucky. South Carolina State, I think that was. But anyway, a lot of people were down on Legette. He comes out of the gate, punches everybody in the face and says, come get you some. And then, of course, the huge tackle on special teams at the end of the game. It just seemed good. It was the feel-good moment. Of course, he won all the awards. Uh, but I got home and watched the replay, watched the game, and I was like, okay. And then I go back and I'm like, well, wait. Opening kickoff, he's falling out of bounds. And there's the kicker. Oh, well, dang, who made that block? That was a good block on kicker. Keep watching the game. They throw a Hail Mary, 1 second on the clock. They drop back again, 1 second on the clock. Or drop back again for the Hail Mary. Guy comes in, makes the play, blocks it. I'm like, that's a hell of a play. He was way off the line. Came over here. He was just in for containment. QB steps up. He stepped in, made a play. It's the same guy from the first. Bam Martin Scott. Again, this is the whole point of that Ate 'em Up award. I always pick, and back in the day when there was message boards and everything, I used to do a weekly award. It was just called something else. It was the toast of the game. And it's the same thing. It's not always going to be the guy that has the most stats. It's not going to be the guy that makes the flashiest play. It's going to be the one that may not get the recognition but played a very big role in the game. On that opening kickoff, Bam made his initial block, then came up, and as Legette's getting his shoe ripped off and he's trying to stay on his feet and stay in bounds, the kicker's coming over. All he's got to do is push him. All he's got to do is push him out of bounds. Legette's off balance. It's easy push. He's out of bounds. Great return. We're still all happy. Bam gets to the next level. Steps in front of the kicker, gets the block. He doesn't just block him. He stays with him, and if you watch the replay, it's almost like they have something connecting him and Legette. As Legette goes, Martin Scott just continues to rotate with him. So, I mean, he's running full shield to the kicker, and that guy has no chance on this play now. And then to add insult to injury, as Legette breaks free and he's gone, Bam just shoves that poor kid like almost back to the lines. I mean, he goes flying through the air like it's the next Marvels movie or something. He's just whee. Then again, on that final play of the game, he comes from, I think, like 5 or 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. Comes in, he's just playing containment. And quarterback steps up. When he does, he comes off his block, dives in, hits the quarterback's arm. Pass broke up. He literally assisted heavily in making the very first play of the game and the very last play of the game. And so for that reason, he ate him up, and he gets the Gamecock Eeks Ate 'em Up award against Texas A&M. So now we are going to look ahead to Missouri, Mizzou, the other Columbia. How in the hell do they have a 3-game winning streak against us? We have no business losing this game. Like I was saying earlier, if we've taken that next step, if to the middle of the pack, to upper in the pack, we've got to win this game, and I don't see why Vegas has it at 4 points. That to me seems crazy. Their O-line's terrible. They only have a couple of weapons on offense. None of them are going to listen to my podcast, y'all. We're fine. I can say this stuff. They barely beat Vandy at home. They jumped out really early on them, just like we did. They jumped out 17-0 on Vandy, and then Vandy came back and made that a very close game in not Columbia. Excuse me. They're absolutely terrible on the road. So as bad as they've kind of been this season, they've been worse on the road. So all this is kind of, playing into our hand. They're really bad on special teams. Like everything that they're bad at, we're pretty good at. So to me, this should at the very least be a touchdown win, if not into double digits. Anything less than that, then I'm going to be pretty disappointed in the showing of the team, because I think we're there. I think we're to the point now where we should go out against Missouri. We should be able to beat them. Not handedly, but convincingly. It just shouldn't be a close game. We shouldn't be down to the final drive, the final 2 drives of the game going, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. We should be able to put this one away. Same thing with Vandy next week. Looking ahead. Oh, I'm looking ahead. Oh, my gracious. We're going to lose. I'm looking ahead. But yeah, so I think we're to that point now where we should be able to win this game by at least a touchdown, 10 points, 2 touchdowns, somewhere in that margin. If it's 4 points, I'm going to have more gray hairs. I'm looking for Rattler to have a really good game Saturday. Everything that I've seen from Missouri looks like their pass defense has some opportunities for us to exploit. Again, we've seen bits and pieces of the passing offense really starting to take off. Of course, we all, I see everybody's comments. We all want some slants, hit the tight end over the middle. I get it. I love those plays too. I would like to see those worked in a little bit more, but we are moving the ball down the field a little bit more in the passing game, a little deeper plays. The passes earlier on in the season that were off just a hair, those are getting dialed in. Now Spencer's putting those on the money, and the guys aren't making the plays. So, again, team effort. Spencer's got to make the throws. Receivers got to make the catches. I see progress in that. I understand people wanting instant gratification, whatever that word is. South Carolina has one of the worst education systems in the country. Don't dog me because I have terrible vocabulary. There we go. Hey, see, I can't even talk. So for that, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Throat hurts very badly. I've got to work today still. I don't even know what words are coming out of my mouth anymore. Carolina's going to win Saturday, hopefully by more than enough to where we're not worried. We're going to get bowl eligible. Then we're going to go mop the floor with Vandy. Then we're going to go beat up on Florida. And then we're going to see where the chips fall for the final 2 games. Wrapping it up here. Let's hit them with the demo. Go Gamecocks.